3, 2, 1, action. Hey guys, welcome back to Off the Record, where we talk about
whatever we want. You know what someone said? I thought it was really funny that my new hairstyle is like an antenna, and I'm downloading from the ether like all this information, and that's why I have these spurts of sometimes interesting philosophical things to say.
They're nice. That's very nicely put.
I think it looks like a
What was
firework.
your previous antenna then? Because you've always done this.
I had a boner.
Oh.
Now that your hair is growing out, it's the same texture and color as mine.
Really?
I can't wait till it gets longer. We could do the same hairstyles. And then we can really be twins.
That's true.
Maybe I'll do mine like yours.
You should. We should come out with a new style.
Then I could have an antenna too, and if we get the same messages, then you'll know it's true.
For a fact.
Yep. I call it the palm
Isaac's
tree.
trying to grow out his hair too.
Maybe he should do it like this.
What's the in style for kids these days? Like the in hair.
Long hair, don't care.
Do kids even know? Because they're not even seeing each other anymore. I guess social media.
That's for sure.
But
Do I look like a Joe?
Like a joke.
Do I look like a Joe?
Do it
I'm
like
not
a
a
Joe.
Joe?
Do kids even have style though? Because
Yeah, you don't remember?
I'll be seeing some. No, I mean, I don't think there's a difference between like high school style and adult style no more. Because I'll be on TikTok and I'm all like, oh no, I cannot look at her this way because I don't know what age she is.
Oh.
And some,
Well put.
and some, not. It's like you can't tell because they have a woman's body. Like they look like athletic, all this stuff, and I'm just like, I just cannot go in that realm.
That's true. I mean, because girls get their periods at different times, and like there's like after you get your period and you go through puberty, like from like 14 to like 27, like sometimes you can't tell the age.
Before I could tell because of the way they dressed, and then like the way that they didn't know how to do makeup.
yeah, I've seen some TikToks of girls that are like our age, like 30s, and they end up doing like, this is 15, like a green screen thing, and it's like this girl doing this really cute, seductive like TikTok.
That's the other thing.
She looks like a grown-ass woman.
Because we didn't have YouTube tutorials growing up, so like you could really tell if you were 15 because you're trying to do your sister's makeup or your cousin's makeup, and it looks like all fucked up.
Yeah, so then that same video, they'll start posting pictures of themselves at 15, like, this is 15. It's like all frumpy and like awkward stage.
But now, because of social media, you can see other 15-year-olds, and everyone's so advanced because they're watching like 21-year-olds like that or whatever, and like they get makeup techniques down by the time they're 8 years old, and so yeah, they look. Also, we watch Love Island, and they say their ages at the beginning of the show. It's like, I'm from Wales, and I'm 21, and the person looks like
30?
Yeah, because they have so many like fillers and like everybody they try to do makeup.
What do you guys think is harder to tell? Like a 15-year-old girl from a 25-year-old girl, or a 15-year-old guy from a 25-year-old guy?
Easy. Guys mature way later.
I think guys' bodies you can tell too. Like usually a high school kid has a certain body type.
Oh yeah,
Whereas
it's bone
like girls,
structure,
it's difficult because like especially in Asian girls, right? Like they could be in their 20s or 30s,
and they look like they're 8 or something.
Not 8, but yeah, they're like,
jeez.
Yeah, you can't tell.
Asian girls are 21 until they're 70.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for girls, we have makeup, we have like bras that like give you cleavage. Like we just have so many different things.
Yeah, we don't really have stuff that like we can't put on like fake 5 o'clock shadow to make.
I'm sure guys do. I've seen
yeah.
I've seen men, like grown men too, just wear makeup, like just to wear makeup.
Old, like more older and have more masculine features.
I don't know about that, but there was this one guy at this like body shop thing. It's actually what I was looking for your truck. And I went to this one like auto mechanic thing. Why can't I get it right? Anyway, he was wearing like full coverage makeup.
What?
And he was like,
He's trying to hide from the police?
he was I don't know. It looked like he had acne, he was trying to hide it. But he kind of went above and beyond though, where it looked like he did his eyebrows, and it was just like, it was a lot, and he was not very
good at it.
No. I mean, like, I wouldn't think that he was like into makeup. He was more like just doing.
I think that's dope. I want to see more guys wearing makeup.
Really? Why?
Like in human history,
Yeah,
there's
like
so much.
Egyptians
Yeah.
and stuff.
Dude, we wore powder wigs and shit.
Yeah.
Rock stars wear eyeliner all the time.
You don't think I look alive?
You could fill in your eyebrows a little bit more. Yeah, you could like even out your skin tone.
Talk about someone else's face. What can you do?
You fucking asked me. Jason Momoa could rock some eyeliner.
He looks like he already has eyeliner. He looks perfect already.
But then he wears some.
Evil
like-
kid.
Is he wearing it or is it?
Yeah, when he's
sure.
in Game of Thrones, he's wearing it.
Oh.
Dothraki.
Aquaman, you think Aquaman's mascara isn't running all over the fucking place?
Not if it's waterproof. Yeah, it's waterproof.
New technology.
I think it'd be cool if guys did wear makeup, but I think I'm too old school personally myself, like for me to like find that attractive.
Dude, I
You
used
hug
to.
them and your fucking shoulders open.
You don't like Johnny Depp? You don't like the 90s hair bands and like Motley Crue and all those boys that wore makeup all day?
Yeah, Pirates
Like-
of the Caribbeans.
Like the
Yeah.
K-pop boy guys that like wear blush and stuff.
Dude, when we did school plays, we got to wear makeup, and it was sick because I had acne for sure. And it was like one night.
Scars.
It was
Your
like,
skin's
well,
good.
thank you. It was a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of Accutane. But that night was the only night I felt like I could be in any light setting and not think about it the whole time.
When you wore makeup?
When I wore makeup during drama, and then after we got to all go to Denny's afterward, and I'm not thinking about the fluorescent lights and shit.
I think that I would wear it if it wasn't so damn uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's because you're not
like
used
shit.
to it.
I barely
and,
like lotion.
And the one you guys wore, like for JK shit, is like the cheapest shit
I
ever.
barely like
99-cent store makeup.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really nasty.
Well, how would you-
And when we put the eyelashes on, it's so heavy I couldn't
yeah,
even
that's
open up my
heavy.
eyes.
I agree.
It
Even
is
when I
bad.
wear them, I'm like,
How would
why
you
do we
girls
wear
like
these?
it if you guys are like, oh honey, give me a kiss? You're like, oh hold on a second.
I don't mind. I'm like, finally you get it.
For real?
Chicks don't like to do that though. You'll ruin their.
Yeah, you don't want to put on makeup.
Yeah, they'll be
before
like,
you
don't kiss me.
Oh, I thought you were taking it off. You're adding it?
I'm a dude, and now I'm a 20, 25 dude, and I wear makeup.
Yeah, but we don't put it on before we kiss.
Oh, you don't?
No, we take it off before we kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get a fucking napkin and you go,
We don't want it to get all over our face.
You're gonna do it accurately, Bart.
Shows how much I know.
Unless we're trying to mark our territory, get that lipstick all
oh
over
yeah.
the face. Yeah. And then you pee on them. Yeah. Then we pee on them a little
Pee
bit.
on them.
A classy amount. Yeah, or we just pee on our hand. And then we put it on their neck.
well,
The pheromones, the pheromones.
Pee a little bit and then pop, pop, pop,
love
pop,
that.
little tap. Yep. And then the other girls come like, oh, he's taken. He's taken. Yeah, bitch.
Oh, he smells like pee. Yeah, that's not a good guy you want to go with. Smells like piss.
Yeah, we did that.
Then you can't catch a surfer because he's always in water.
We'll put blood on him, on his clothes. That shit doesn't come
He's
out.
probably always peeing on himself too.
I know.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. That's
Dude,
so
bikers, bro.
Especially if it's cold and you have a wetsuit on.
Yeah,
And you
it's
pee,
all over
and
you.
it's just pee going all over your back and your neck. And
warm.
It's like a pee-pee sponge.
It is.
Yeah. What about bikers?
Well, like Tour de France people legit piss and shit themselves. Yeah.
And like those long distance runners,
Yeah.
they just shit all over their legs.
It's all about the time.
Oh no.
My ex-boyfriend's dad, he would work on the telephone poles. You know, he'd be up there like doing
The
telephone.
linemen?
I don't know what they do.
Phoneman.
But
Linemen. They're called linemen.
Call him phoneman.
but there was bags that they peed in. So they had these bags that were attached to them, and they just if they had to pee, they just peed in this bag.
Because they can't
Like, that's
climb
the
back
shit.
down.
I don't know about that. Maybe there's a different bag for that.
Because it takes too long for the crane to go, "Duh."
Yeah.
And then he goes out and takes a piss and comes back. "Duh."
Yeah, you don't know where that crane is. Maybe he's a different
Oh,
guy. I want to take a shit like that, like just like really high up, and then just let it fucking go where it may.
I bet hunters do that.
Very liberating.
Or if you're in a tree.
Yeah.
I'm down to try it.
For hours, like on a fucking
Then
stand.
won't you like attract like animals, insects? I don't know.
Wait, do they have trousers like a cartoon where it's just buttons and you and it's like flaps that open? And you just go,
Long Johns,
Right? Yeah.
and you button it back up?
Like Santa Claus always wore those.
Yeah.
I always thought about those buttons. I'm like, isn't it uncomfortable when you lay down and like a button's like digging into your back?
Yeah, there's two of them.
And they're big ones too.
I have a onesie that has the buttons like that.
Is it comfy?
Do you use it? Do you shit through the back?
No.
Oh.
Cause I don't know, they misaligned the butthole. Maybe my butt's too big, but like I don't know, the flap is like above my butthole, so I'd have to like pull it down. You don't like living life on the edge? No.
Yeah, how does it work? Because like, let's say you sit on the toilet, but that door's not big enough, and it doesn't cover your nuts.
door.
So you gotta pee.
The
and then you
butthole
just-
door.
Yeah, but you could take a dump, but you can't pee.
Maybe you're supposed to.
You're supposed to
it
pull your dicks underneath like where your
until
butt would be.
it Pops out of it, maybe.
Yeah. Well, on the boy ones, they have the buttons in the front too. Oh. You can pop your dick out of that.
Live your life on the fucking edge. Take a shit at your friend's house through that screen door thing. Because then if you fuck up,
What room in the fucking house though?
the one the closest to them, the one closest.
That's on the fucking
Wait,
edge.
through a screen door? What do you mean?
No, through the back flap.
We've been
thing.
talking about for the past 5
The
minutes.
buttons, because then if you fuck up, everyone's gonna know.
Many times I've lived
Caca
life
on
on
your
the
pants.
edge. When I'm drunk, I think I'm really good at peeing with rompers and like pulling it to the side.
Oh, doesn't work.
Nope. It just completely wets my entire romper.
I mean, the same thing happens too when you try like moving panties to the side when you're trying to have sex. It's just like it's still there. It's might as well take them off.
But
Yeah.
before I have sex though, I gotta like relax.
Oh yeah.
And then so this video is brought to you by Feel.
Feel.
They sent me a box, and I've been taking a few drops of the CBD oil to relax. And it's pretty nice. Like I think before I start something different, right? Because every time I transition a task, like let's say I'm doing something high energy. I'm working, I'm on a phone call, I'm doing Zoom meetings, all that. And sometimes to relax from that, it takes me hours. Like I just don't know why, but
You're too wound up.
yeah, and then I'm just
Zoom
like in
meetings
my
are
head.
exciting. Zoom meetings are exciting.
If you're talking about exciting things, big time, like it can fire you up, right? So yeah, I just started to try like CBD oil and stuff, and it actually chills me out in a couple of minutes. You just get like a oil thingy, and it's kind of like a boop boop dropper, and you go droop, 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 and you put it on your tongue, and then you kind of just start chilling.
You
and
feel like your whole
thinking-
body just
Yeah.
relaxes. Like every muscle is just like instead of being like this, it just goes.
yeah.
Yeah, but I like to drink it with tea, something warm, and then it's kind of meditative too because I just wait for it to kind of kick in, and then I can transition into like winding down for the day like way faster. So what used to take me like hours now takes me a couple minutes.
Wow.
So if you guys are trying to wind down and have the best part of your day towards the end or in the beginning, you can become a member today by going to feels.com/offtherecord, and that's FEALS.com/offtherecord, and you get 50% off
Damn.
your first order with free shipping. So that's an insane deal. 50% off, that's half off. That's FEALS.com/offtherecord to become a member and get 50% automatically taken off your first order with free shipping.
Get the feels.
Get the
Get
feels.
the feels.
Oh, that reminds me. Aww.
Do you guys?
He did. He
miss
wasn't
it?
even around during that time. I just talked about my YouTuber boyfriend.
Yep.
Oh, that was him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. When we used to have Ask the Fields in case.
I
you
know.
guys
It was
are-
crazy because we would ask Nikki about Steve.
But you didn't know him.
Yeah,
Right.
at all.
But we didn't know like
So what was
How
your
much
image
of-
of him?
Well, my first image, the first time I ever saw Steve was at Tim's roast.
Yeah.
But I already knew of the stories. So the minute I saw Steve, I was like, oh, so you're the guy where she likes to, where he likes to get, where Nikki likes to get banged, and then the balls are slapping her in the vagina. So that was my first like image when I saw Steve.
for me it was I seen this guy, I don't know where, and then it's because I used to like watching his bang bus pranks. He would get guys to be in the bang bus, and he's like, you ready for the porn stars? And then these buff guys come in, and that shit was so funny to me.
Those guys were dope.
Yeah, and then I made the connection. I was like, oh, hold on, what the hell? He does comedy like that? Let's bring him on. Yeah. But
Because I would talk about you being like a comedian YouTuber, and that's when David Stowe was like, yeah, right, he does comedy. And then he met you, and he's like, oh, yeah.
That's
critical David.
What did you hear about us?
Hey, dude, that's what I fucking.
True.
That's all anybody hears about with YouTube. It's like, oh yeah, you do comedy on YouTube.
Yeah, because comedy is so like fluid on YouTube. It's like, it doesn't necessarily mean you did actual comedy. Like
It was a lot of wigs. A lot of wigs.
Traditional comedy.
No, okay. So I heard about you guys through her. I had heard of Joe Malia for some reason. I don't know. I never heard of anything else about JK. I had just heard of Joe Malia before, and I knew you. I thought your first and last name was Joe Malia. I didn't fucking know. He's still on my phone to this.
Joe
he's in my phone as Joe Malia too.
I just thought his name was Joe Malia. I didn't fucking know. And then because
I just didn't know his last name, so it was easier.
yeah.
I don't think he disclosed it yet, so it's still JoJo.
But I met you guys cold in this room. That was the first time I had seen you guys and met you guys.
When we
No,
invited you?
No, the rose.
Oh, right. No, right, true.
I was like, wait,
But
what?
I'm so bad at names that at the roast we did meet and shit, but I was seeing so many fucking people that night. I'm so bad at names, it takes me
It's very
twice.
important.
It takes me twice.
Lots of people.
I was talking to all the people in the roast, is what I'm saying.
It happens, all right?
It takes me
Listen,
twice.
he's very important.
It takes me twice to remember somebody's name, right? So I remember we were in this room, and actually you guys busted me in the video, but I played it off a little bit. But in the video, I was like, because you had all said your names to me real quickly, but it was such a fucking much information that during the video I was like, well, Bart, whatever, and I was in this direction thinking it was David, I think. And then Gio's like, he's Bart, and I was like, I know that, yeah, I'm fucking around, but I didn't.
I called you out.
Yeah, you did. You called me out. But it was great. That was like
Sounds like Gio.
that was me not actually fucking knowing, but it was.
That's funny.
I didn't know anyone's names either. I thought Julia owned the channel, and then I was like, okay, I know her name because she reached out to me and she owns the channel.
I like that though. When people think that I'm just kind of like a dumb guy on the side, I love it.
I didn't think you were a dumb guy.
No, well, I'm saying you, but a lot of people think
What
that.
I remembered about you was you had the best T-shirt. Like I felt like we could get along because you had Bill Clinton with the American flag on fire and like
He had a poster too.
eagle in the background, and I was like, "That's a funny shirt."
I know. I gotta get some more of those posters. That's one of my favorite artists.
I couldn't remember who was Gio between you
Who and
two.
who? What?
Between them two.
Gio
'cause
sounds like a guy.
It almost sounds like Giovanni. Yeah.
I knew some
So you
Gios growing
thought
up.
she might have been Bart?
No, I didn't even know the name Bart.
David thought Gio was a man.
Yeah, I heard that story.
You have to say it right.
Sounds fun.
Okay. Out of context.
I know, but it's funner to explain it that way.
No.
We were talking via text.
I thought
Not
Gio was a
because
man,
he
too.
met me in person.
I know, but that imagery is much funnier.
It is. But I have to come in.
Tall,
I know, yeah.
robust man.
I know.
A tall man with large breasts.
Well, he didn't. Yeah, I'm like, he didn't have large breasts then.
That's why it was more convincing that she was a man.
So good.
No, in order for me to remember their names, I would think like Bart, Buff, B.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Buff is Bart. Bart is Buff. Joe is the other guy.
Joe jokes.
Joe jokes.
Dude, I had a teacher who, first day of school, he was a science teacher. He learned everyone's names in the first 10 minutes.
Dude,
And then like
Yeah.
the second month he forgot everyone's name.
I wish.
I can do that if I know that's the game at the beginning that we're all
Like
gonna
if you
memorize
focus?
names.
You could do that.
I can remember everybody's names
You have a great memory.
if I know going into it. But if it's just like we're at a function and I suddenly meet a bunch of people, I was not prepared to remember everybody's name.
Wow, you're so important.
I couldn't
I'm very important.
I could meet someone and I really want to memorize their name because I know how much it means to people like later on when you just, oh, it's whatever, right? So after I meet them and I go home and I'm in the car, I'll literally like try to memorize and I'll say their name over and over.
that's awesome.
Like,
I do that too, and I forget immediately.
yeah, and the next time I meet them, I'm like, fuck! I did the fucking homework too.
Dude, remember at fucking gatherings and shit?
That happens to me all the time.
It was us three, and then I would always have to whisper in your ear who the fuck that person was.
And my favorite way is I find someone I know and I introduce them. So like, let's say I forget Frank's name. I'm like, oh, hey, this is my wife, Gio. Gio? And then that way she goes, hey, I'm Gio. Then he goes, he's Frank. And I'm like, Frank, I love this guy.
That is the worst shit.
Frank's the fucking best.
When you're somewhere and you're standing with somebody whose name you don't know, and then your wife comes up, and then you're like,
But that's the easiest because you just go, oh, hey, this is my wife, Nikki, and then I go, I'm Nikki. Yeah, it's
If they understand the game, if they
yeah,
understand
but
the
if I
game.
wasn't in my
be on
head,
the same page.
if I wasn't in my head stressing the fuck out, I would have clever ideas
So
like
then
that.
what do you do instead?
I'm like, I just fucking sometimes I'm like, hey man, yeah,
He's just rude. I'm like, why didn't you introduce me to that person?
and then she's like roasted.
Yourself.
I know, and I'm like, I don't know their name.
Because then you'll be like, why don't you introduce it? Or she goes, why don't you introduce me? And you go, I want to. What's your name again?
Honestly, that's how bad it is. That's how bad it feels.
Why don't you just go say like, I know you, but I forgot your name.
Because only you can do that.
I do that.
I do that all the time.
I do that if I haven't met them 1,000 times because that's the part where it's like it's gone past the point of where I could.
It's just
Right
rude
now, we have neighbors in our new community, and like for some reason, Casey and I can only remember like the guy neighbors because they're the ones that are more talkative. Like, and but then the wives sometimes they'll come out and then like we'll talk about the kids or whatever. But then Casey will look at me like, do you remember the wife's name? And I'm like, no, do you remember her name?
That's why you create nicknames.
And then,
Flower Lady.
but then now it's been so long and we see them so many times, but it's just so awkward to bring up their name every time because I think I brought it up like the first like two.
Oh, I have a trick for it. I have a trick for it.
Trick, because I need it too.
Okay, so this is what you do. So if it's been too many times, this is my trick. I just call them a random name and they go, oops, sorry, that's not your name. You just remind me so much of my friend Jennifer that like, I'm sorry, what's your name again? I always get you guys confused.
Horrible.
I don't know if that works.
Horrible.
Horrible.
That's horrible.
I go, Jennifer, wait, no, sorry, your name's not Jennifer. Oh, you remind me so much of my friend Jennifer. What's your name again?
And they're like, my dead mother's name is Jennifer.
That sounds like a guy trying to pick up a girl at the bar that sucks at
It's my only go-to because I'm like, it's been just you're cute.
Yeah, true.
It's been like 8 times. It was like, I can't pretend.
I just give up. I just don't ever even include names ever. I just go with it.
So we have
Literally the point that I'm at with my neighbors right now.
have this neighbor.
I'm like, hey girl.
we have this neighbor that lives across the street from us. I know the husband and the wife's name. The kid's name, I don't know. But the problem is, every time
sucks.
Taika goes out, hey Taika, Taika, how you doing?
I'm like, hey buddy.
So when his kid comes out, I'm like, hey.
What's up, buddy?
And I'm like, fuck, what's his
I'm like,
name?
how's your boy doing?
And the longer it's been, the more I can't say what was your kid's name again, because we've
Never.
been living together for a year now.
That's so funny.
It's so stupid.
But it's horrible. No, because see,
I gotta find a trick.
The more I actually interact with somebody and engage with them,
I know.
it's so easy to remember their names, right? Like JK Crew, I got their names down immediately because you're hanging out a lot, right? But fucking, like, somebody I worked at Maker Studios with 10 years ago, and they're like, hey man, remember me from Maker? I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, it's a nightmare.
Just say you got amnesia.
That works. I like that.
I'll be like, what's
just
your
go-
Hello? Are you my mother? I'm sorry, I don't know your name. I'm sorry.
No, the thing that I thought of for that kid situation is like, well, I guess now it's different with the pandemic. You don't really have gatherings, but if it was normal times, you'd be like, oh, I'm throwing like a barbecue or whatever. I wanted to send an invite. Like, how do you spell your kid's name again?
I used to do that.
like John? You don't know how to spell John?
I mean, people spell it differently.
Jon or John?
Yeah.
You know.
Good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
You don't know how to spell Jeff?